Trump coming to the Black Conservative Federation, and I got a bunch of comments under that video, and they were just saying like, "Yo, Black people are conservative since when?"
They always been conservative.
Exactly.
And because you're conservative doesn't mean you're Republican. I think that's just the thing. It's like you could be conservative and be liberal.
You can be. You can be.
Or at least a Democrat, right? But being conservative is more like an ideal or like a lifestyle in a way. You're just like, what are your thoughts and like how do you think about the world? But it has nothing to do with the political party essentially. Exactly. But in some cases they do align. But you know what I mean?
Yeah. More conservative people or values is on the Republican side more than the Democratic side. But it's true. It's true. I mean, I was shocked. I was like, why do people think that Black people aren't conservative? They can't have those type of values, you know? It's weird. But hey, let's tune into the video and see what's going on in the conservative world of Black people. Let's tune in.
Traitors. That's what their haters call them. So they retreat here, a secret group chat with other supposed sellouts. But they didn't commit a crime. They're just Black Trump supporters. And this is their coming out party.
I'm gathering this is kind of a judgment-free zone. Everyone can kind of just be themselves. And
I think it confuses some people. They see Black people walking around with MAGA hats, and they're probably like, do they like know what they're in line for?
Kalasia, Charisse, and Anthony bonded on social media. They're here in DC to finally meet others like them in person. As a biracial woman, I know exactly what it feels like to be misunderstood by your own people. So that's why I came here, to find out why everyone acts like Black conservatives don't exist. This is the nonprofit behind this meetup, Turning Point USA. They promote conservative values on college campuses. And you might know it because of them, Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens.
There is nothing more American than being Black in this country.
But today, the crowd is here to see someone else.
Who in this room wants to be president someday?
President Trump's approval rating among African Americans hovers around 14%. In here, though, it's off the charts.
The African American unemployment rate has hit the lowest level ever recorded in the history of our country.
This is a...
By the way, very quick, I gotta say this. This is an older video, so those numbers are actually much higher now.
At least double.
Yeah, if not double, maybe even triple, honestly. Those numbers are way higher.
African American unemployment has reached its lowest rate ever recorded.
Trump deserves credit for his role in maintaining low Black unemployment levels.
Don't care how he
speaks. It's been steadily declining since before he got to Washington. But beyond that, the picture looks a little different. The median net worth of Black families is 10 times lower than white families. The gap between Black and white home ownership is growing, and Black college graduates still make
So people don't realize it's about values. Like no one in the Black community, like I mean, like a majority of time, like on average, you're not gonna go to like, you know, like the average Black kid and be like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you're gonna hear something like that's like that shocks you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's gonna be exactly what you expect. It's just gonna be like
it's true.
And then when you ask them, when you're like, yo, like, why don't you want to be an astronaut? Why don't you study something in engineering? They're gonna look at you like you have 5 different heads.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in the white community, in the Asian community, those things are like, their pride and their priority. And people like at the age of 3 and stuff, like those communities, they have their kids already focused and locked in on like becoming the best version of themselves. Meanwhile, like in the Black community, it's really just like, oh, as long as you get a job, that's what it matters. But to other people, it matters how much money they make and how far they are is way more.
That's the thing that a lot of Black people are missing, and
zero accountability for sure.
Exactly. Like they focus on STEM 100% in other communities. Black people, though,
we should
prioritize
them for sure.
We'd rather be rappers
or just like sports, and I think it's because people don't want to do like the hard work, or obviously sports is difficult, but people don't realize that like school's not that hard.
It's not.
It's really,
if you put in the time,
you could easily make six figures from focusing in school than becoming like an elite athletic, because that being good in math or science is something that you put hard work into, but being extremely good in sport, oftentimes you just need a talent.
You got to be talented.
And that's not something that you could work on. Like you could perfect your craft, but you need to be talented in the first place.
That's a fact, though. That's a fact.
Significantly less than white college graduates.
We got Dexter in the chat.
This is bigger than just the economy.
Before even becoming a conservative, I started to feel like I was a victim. But once I got out of that victim mentality, I actually started thriving.
My biggest pet peeve is when people say, we've made no progress since slavery. Are you kidding me?
A lot of what I heard today was the narrative that Democrats really don't care about Black people.
We sit in these really bad, dilapidated, broken communities. Democrat policies have continuously been implemented, and they have not worked.
Welfare reform is on the president's to-do list. And this gets to the core of conservatism, that liberal policies unintentionally do more harm than good. After LBJ created social programs like food stamps and Medicare in the 60s, the rate of Black economic progress actually slowed down. They made progress, but not as quickly as in the 5 years before these programs started. Still, there are far fewer Black people in poverty today than there were back then. But even if conservatives are right about welfare holding folks back, sometimes Trump makes things complicated.
After Charlottesville, when he said there were fine people on both sides, do you think that was racist?
No one likes to see Nazis parading around singing Blood and Soil. That could have been handled a lot better.
Trump sometimes says things in the wrong way. I never feel like he's personally attacking the Black community.
Not all Black conservatives agree. We met up with Dgotsauce Driscoll. He's a Republican who teaches religion and politics at GW.
You know what? That's like the weirdest thing about liberals, where they think like everybody needs to be like a virus where you go this way and then I have to follow you blindly. It's like the conservative movement is about everybody having their own opinion and their own judgment. Like, you know what I mean? It's like you don't need to agree with Trump on everything he says. You don't need to agree with what the next conservatives say 100%. Don't make you're agreeing with somebody 100%. Like, you know, you're no longer thinking for yourself. And who the fuck wants to live like that?
Yeah, a bunch of bots is on the,
like,
the liberal
so
side.
Weird.
Honestly,
I hate when like you have like echo chambers. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like I need different thoughts, because it's like, what if I'm the one that's crazy? Like, I need people to tell me when I'm like going off course. Like,
yeah. Honestly, there's a lot of things that Trump says that you're obviously you can't agree with, but for the most part, like, you still gotta. I'm still listening. And I'm pretty much taking the meat and I'm spitting out the bones. Pause.
No Diddy.
No Diddy. no Diddy.
Do you think it's fair to call Trump a racist?
I think it's fair to call Trump racist. Yes. How I define racism is about power structures that prevent access to certain things. And so when we look at his policies,
looking dapper though.
You see him looking all right.
It falls in line.
I not even tucked in.
Why do you think we see such vitriol coming from other members of the Black community directed at people within this young Black conservative movement?
That is one thing I never agreed with. Black conservatives aren't going away.
He's right. This isn't some new trend.
He's a conservative.
Then why are there so many culturally conservative African Americans who don't vote Republican?
There's a difference.
Well, it goes back to the end of slavery, when Black people did vote red. But just as they became Republican leaders in the 1930s, Hoover's administration kicked them out to appeal to Southern racists. It's when Roosevelt's New Deal came along that minorities saw a chance to turn their misfortunes around. And when Republican presidential nominee Barry Goldwater opposed the Civil Rights Act, that's when many Black voters switched to loyal Democrats.
Oh, well. That's a little history lesson on why a lot of Black people vote Democrat then. Because we had a sucky Republican president like him. It makes sense now. It makes sense.
But here's the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Black people used to lead, and they used to have a voice in the Republican Party. Before that one example, right? 1 year or like 4 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know any Black Democrat leaders, like true leaders, that's not being like, that has a string that's being manipulated. And Obama does not count.
Yeah.
Motherfucker's mulatto.
Yeah,
Obama, you know what I mean?
Hussein.
He's not Black.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. He's just as Black as he is white. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah.
We never had a Black president. Like,
he doesn't Black.
He doesn't share any Muslim values or any Black values for that.
Yeah.
If anything, he made rules that made Muslims look bad and bombed them like crazy.
Yeah. And
then he made Black people look bad because he always would do this thing where he tried to school Black people and try to like, but it's just like, dude, you're speaking from the voice of the master. Like, you're not actually like telling people how to be better. What you're saying is like, oh yeah, do Obamacare.
Yeah.
And then
live off the government.
And then you're forced into it, right? You're not allowed to say you don't want insurance, but it's like, you should have a choice. This is a free country. Yes. Why, when it comes to your program, I don't have a choice?
Yeah.
That should show you how authoritarian that guy was.
He made a lot of money off of that movement too.
And then it's like, oh, during tax season, you as a Black person, if you didn't fall for my trick, I will be taken out of your taxes and you'll be penalized. Mm-hmm. Remember, it was just like a penalty for not going with Obamacare or like feeding some other sucker insurance companies. It's like, for what? If you're perfectly healthy, for what?
That doesn't make any sense to me, honestly. Like, why he was kind of a sellout to me.
He was
a sellout.
He was.
I'm not gonna say he was the worst president ever.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
But
nothing can beat Biden freaking Clinton's.
Yeah. Clinton's bad.
Like, no one can beat that.
I was young at that time, bro.
Dude, Bush and all his freaking family of like, dude literally has everybody in his freaking bloodline trying to run for president. It's like, get the fuck out of here. This is not the UK.
That's how they got so much of a grip on it. That's how they got a grip over there on the Democratic side. The Kennedys, it was all up in there.
Yeah, it's like, yo, back up.
Hey.
But you know what's crazy though? They're all still related except for Trump, and that's why they hate him.
Yeah, Trump.
They're like the family tree. You ever seen it? All the presidents are related.
In some type of way, for
yes,
real?
They're blood related. Every single one, including Obama. Yes.
Really?
Yep.
I mean, if we all came from one person, that would make sense.
No. I'll show you later. But yeah, they each are connected or like run in the same circle as well.
So that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. That makes sense.
It's one big family. When you look at things, that's why you see like I don't know if you noticed that, but Clinton and Biden and Trump, Obama, always together. They're best friends.
That's true. All three of them.
Yeah.
All three of them. Yeah. No, I've realized Bernie Sanders, he supports them, but he don't rock with them like that.
Yeah, because Bernie, for like he's cool people. It's just his ideas are costly. Like he's calling for free everything. But it's like that means more government control.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But he doesn't rock with them because progressives and liberals, they have different ideals. But sometimes progressives are more democratic. But they have different ideals on how things should be.
I don't like it because to me it's like if you don't agree with them, they kind of push you to the side type of thing.
They do it loud too. They're always the loudest in the room. It's like it's never like I'm gonna disagree with you with proof. It's like I'm just gonna be louder than you.
Yeah.
And throw some insults at you.
It's like try to cancel you, get you fired, whatever I can do to win this without letting the people know that I'm actually lying to them, you know? Crazy. Let's finish.
Being a Black conservative, you kind of feel like you're the only one.
People have been really crazy, especially Black people. I had some people tell me to bleach my skin, kill myself. You're a coon, you're Uncle Tom.
It's like one thing to be called those things by like white people when it's within your own community.
No one hates Black people like Black people. Like facts. Those are not white people saying that to them.
No, that's a fact.
Which is the craziest thing.
Yo, coon is a huge one, bro.
Dr. Umar loves it.
No. Oh, the Pan-African. Yo, coon is a huge one, bro.
Your own kind.
They'll say
it's like, oh, you don't agree with me. It's like, dude, we're not supposed to agree with each other. We're supposed to have our own opinion.
Exactly. Just because I disagree with you don't mean that you know, I could call you dirt. We just disagree.
And then there's Kanye. You didn't think we'd forget about him, did you? Before his fallout with Candace Owens, people here appreciated the visibility he lent to the cause and the MAGA hat.
This is our president.
I noticed on your Twitter you had that post about wearing your MAGA hat for the first time.
Yes, which was yesterday. It's giving me courage to stand up for what I believe in.
Here's the thing about the hat. When these guys wear it, it's an act of defiance that says we're not Democrats and we're not invisible. Look, people are messy, too messy for the simple little boxes society wants to put us in. And if someone doesn't fit, it's becoming much easier to dismiss the unknown rather than try to understand it.
Right. I'm crazy for saying this, but you notice how everyone that was in there, every black person that was in there, looked like they have a future, if that makes sense.
Yes. Absolutely.
You didn't see any tattoos or anything crazy. Like no one was being violent or speaking in a form of way where you like do something uneducated. It was just like,
no hood rats. No hood rats, no pookies.
It just tells you a lot on like honestly. But there is also like proof, like studies of that, where it shows as you get more money or get wiser, you do become more likely to be conservative.
It's true
because the only people that really goes with the Democrat Party is people that's expecting free shit.
That's true. Honestly, the Democrat Party is known for handing out a lot of stuff.
That comes out of hardworking people. Not they think it comes out in thin air, but it's like someone has to pay for it.
Someone does, and it's always the taxpayers. It's always us, the people, and we complain our taxes go up, and then we still vote the same way. But that's life.